My niece, Natasha Stevens, I've known her since she was an infant. And the things that she's done and accomplished in a short time have been very inspiring to her classmates and appreciated by her family. In 2002, ILI recognized the work of her grandmother, or her great-grandmother, Maria Hinton, Yageyale. And at that time, she was 92. She passed on last year, but she left a wonderful heritage for her family and for our people and for all Indian people, where she worked all over the United States and Canada. I didn't know that Natasha had been so involved with the language, but last year when she graduated, she was a class valedictorian, and she did the whole speech in Oneida. And that was such a inspiration to say, like, sometimes we get critical of not doing enough and nothing's working and people don't care, but people do care. And some of the things Sylvia said to us in the keynote address are actually happening. And they may be happening low-key, but they're happening on the ground and they're happening in our communities. And Natasha is a wonderful example of the kind of things that happen. I'm very proud of her. Gajistawa.
Sagali swagwe gajistawana niyan get sangwe wehne. Atnawa niwa gita loda kale onia te aga niwa go anjot. Danu Wisconsin ni twagain. Deglu yawanle nat dewa go sliagu. Oknen and toha asanio slage jitna hena wagewi and det hadi onia te aga alun katsla. Danu sali hokni hosanoda ungwe wehne sungwali hunyani. Gadayata yundadli hunyani te go zaha enege jode St. Norbert. Sagali swagwaik, hello everybody, my name is Gajistawan. It means big fire. My great grandmother gave me my name. I am Turtle Clan, and I am Oniote Aga, people of the Standing Stone, or also known as Oneida. Wisconsin is where I come from. I am 18 years old. My parents are Shelley and Kelly Stevens. My grandparents are Marjorie and Ernie Stevens, Valerie and Marshall Grollo. And I am the great-granddaughter of the late Marie Hinton, or Yagea Leko. She remembers. My great-grandmother attended boarding school throughout her childhood where Indigenous students were not allowed to speak their language. As a consequence of her experience, none of her children speak the Oneida language. When my grandmother was 63 years old, she realized the importance of language revitalization and returned to school to study linguistics. She graduated with high honors and returned to our community to teach the Oneida language at the Oneida Nation Elementary School until she was 92 years old. With one functional second language speaker, Sully Hogt or Leander Danforth, remaining of the Oneida tribe of Wisconsin, my family made the decision to build a language nest for my niece. We have created a goal of having my niece become a functional first language speaker of the Oneida language. This is now a language revitalization initiative my family strives for each and every day. To achieve this goal, my family and I started taking language classes with Sully Hogt at the Oneida Language Revitalization Program about 3 years ago. Sully Hogt is also a Wolf Clan faith keeper of the Oneida Nation of Wisconsin. I had no previous language before I started taking classes with the Oneida Language Revitalization Program. The language was completely new to me. Second semester of my sophomore year of high school, I started taking language classes. While attending the Oneida Nation High School, I had the advantage of spending half my day with Sully Hogt in language class and the other half at the high school. The flexibility my high school offered me also allowed me to travel Iroquois Confederacy to listen and learn from other Longhost title holders, as well as first language and second language Longhost speakers. While I traveled throughout Iroquois Confederacy in New York and Canada, I also got the opportunity to visit Iroquois language immersion and culture-based schools. I graduated from Oneida Nation High School this past summer as the class of 2014 valedictorian. As valedictorian, I was required to give a speech at the graduation ceremony. I delivered my speech in the Oneida language. My sister, Yojikla Gewas, she parts the clouds, or Jessica House, who also attended Oneida Language Revitalization Program, working toward the same goal for my niece, gave her salutatorian speech in the Oneida language the following year, or the previous year. I am currently a freshman at St. Norbert College. Because of the location, it's like a 15-minute drive from Oneida. I get to spend, I kind of what you say is commute. I still attend language classes every day as part of my schooling. My college classes are scheduled around my language classes, in which I still participate in every day. My major is undecided, but my plans are to work toward an immersion school in the Oneida community. The efforts that I put into assisting with the language goals of my niece have inspired me to continue to challenge and expand my knowledge of the Oneida language. The Oneida language is part of the Iroquois language family spoken by the Oneida people of the Standing Stone, also known as Oneida. Oneidas originated in upstate New York. In the 1800s, the Oneida people were relocated to both Wisconsin and Ontario, Canada, where there became two separate dialects for the Oneida language. The curriculum I'm going to demonstrate is based on the morphology in the Oneida, Wisconsin dialect. My teacher and mentor, Sully Hogue, spent 30 years discovering the rules and patterns of the language. He has developed a curriculum that simplifies the Oneida language so that present language learners and the future generations to come do not have to deal with the same frustrations he had faced. The goals of this language development plan. The main goal of the Oneida Language Revitalizations Program's development plan is for the adult learner to become familiar with how our language functions and to learn the key pronoun patterning systems that will facilitate comprehension and speaking. The plan takes into account our current language resources and the best avenue to utilize the resources that are available to us at this time. The vision of our program is create second language speakers in the community. Our mission is to reestablish the functional use of our language in our community through effective use of our resources. Our immediate goals are to create functional speakers of Oneida language, 2, to understand how the language functions, 3, to promote and assist in the use of Oneida language in our community. Oneida does not have a long history of being written. The writing system used in this works is an adaptation of one introduced in the 1930s. It has been used increasingly since the 1970s for teaching purposes. Okay. I'm going to start off with the sound practice. This is what everybody starts off in our program with. Sound practice. This is a sound practice. The vowel sounds are the most important to master. They are the foundation of the Oneida language. A, E, O, U. The sounds of the vowels remain the same no matter of the combination of consonants that come before. For example, ha, he, ho, hu, huh. This part of the plan is strictly for the learner to become familiar with hearing and making the sounds. We have 8 stems: the A stem, the C stem, the OU stem, the fake E stem, the I stem, and the E caret stem. Each stem has 2 sides, the subjective and the objective. The first 15 changes, the subjective, of each word are what the learner is expected to know, as well as the second set of 15 changes, the objective. I will demonstrate how these stems are used. The Oneida language makes use of concatenative morphology. Concatenative, that was a hard word to get down. Concatenative morphology. I had to go on Google and have the girl say it. Concatenative morphology is described as stringing morphemes together to create words, as seen in example 1. That's the word gadlanota, that I play music. The major morphological process is affixation, the addition of a prefix or suffix to a root word in order to create a new word. Oneida uses prenominal prefixes to determine case. Case is used to morphologically track who is doing what and to whom in the sentence. Oneida uses 2 types of prenominal prefixes to determine the subject, object, and possessors within a word or phrase. The prenominal prefixes which Oneidas use are organized by gender and number. Oneida specifies between first person, me, I, inclusive, second person, you, exclusive, third person, she, her, he, his, and fourth person, it, someone, or an older she. The older she is a sign of respect. Number in the Oneida language is also specified by singular, dual, 2 or less, and plural, 3 or more. Examples of these are bolded in example 2. Oneida also uses a series of prefixes to determine tense, future, and past, as seen in example 3. Tense is frequently used to depict the point in time in which one event occurred. The past tense is created by adding a wa or we or to the front of the word and then the ending of the word changes. The future tense is created by adding a caret to the front of the word and then the ending stays the same as the ending used in the past tense form. The should, could, would tense is created by adding an I, or to the front of the word and then the ending stays the same as the ending used in the past tense form. Oneida uses aspect by what is termed as objective prenominal prefixes. Each stem selects from an entire group specific to each particular stem. These are termed objective prenominal prefixes. An objective stem is what is referred to as a progressive aspect, which means that an action is continuous. This is shown in example 4. Wagadla no de. I am playing music right now. The objective also has an ending of its own. All work here is done by the Oneida Language Revitalization Program. Speaker instructor who developed the curriculum for the Oneida Language Revitalization Program, Sully Hoke Leander Danforth. Linguistic analysis of our program done by Jasmine House. Our supervisor and linguist, Yesat Stunts-Lahawi, Tracy Williams. Media specialist, Yundala Douglas, Jessica Paulus. Trainees, Zaluk Curtis Summers, and Ludaglaguat David Danforth. Some people use words such as legend to describe my great-grandmother, but I would prefer to use Yagungwehun. She was an original woman. She did her best to carry out her responsibilities to her children, who are all now working diligently within our community, just as any Yagungwe should do. She brought attention to language revitalization. As language learners, we use the dictionary entitled an Oneida Dictionary, Ungwe Hue Neha, de Gawana Denies. My grandmother spent 20 years completing, alongside with her brother Amos Christian, to preserve the Oneida language. My grandmother has also left thousands of recordings and books that are critical to language revitalization.
What? Ya ke yale. Wadu ya wale nika don't slake oko ya. Jago dun hedu.
Government school akadaya dan asna to ako sliaku. To yayak na to ako sliaku na sa kahtant. Toni ono akti no akadaya dan at toni ono nangi ono stu hauslu ni gehawa de bakadwa numda. Agi wakadaya da. Chinyoli jadak na to nikawis nangi ono osluni kadwano dak es tone one ehnakui kutlole man pleasant wakadaya tana jadak teglo kale warlo nikawis no toniole nik ni wese tiga tone on hasko wakadaya ta
Sego de nun he yezatle.
Wisk ni was de gausliago. Ni was sawarlo. Na de hausliago laksot. Laksot haustu neji lodliu slu netiga. Oh, chitonat liu. Aksot ya nena wanda de yago. De yago ngande down. Oslu ni into anunda.
Ons ka ook ne yago wilayan dao.
Tuka di wini ko wakat les jadak. Tegnia uska.
Oja ke akotlo ku wahuna tawa.
Yakolan ha. Yakolan ha. Neji toyun dayat had shinai keli hunyani. Kale keha. Keha we tiga. Apache chinyole asana de akosliago. Jarak niwe nidak chinyole asana de akosliago. Saya ko tawane ono ha.
Toniona, da yundasa wa tiga Milwaukee. Da hundasa wa sagodili hunya nihe ungwe neha. Toga di yayak ni wasa asa de yagausliago. Nagwe wachagungo ji yundayat. Jarak ni wasan wadlo ni osla se das.
Tone ono gunto joslat ha ganadage gana heha nya keli huni.
Oya su sagodili hunya ni.
We had Oscar Archquid, remember Oscar? He always tried on his own. He'll go pick up children and take them to the parish hall and teach them there, and he takes them home. He didn't have much, but he did that to try to keep the language alive.
Tom Porter wasakohlo le jini wastak.
Well, Margie kind of gave me a stiff talking to. She said, "You're always sitting up there." She says, "I want you to come down and take part," she says. And Tom... Oh, no. Look at you go. Da sagt keiner, kunto tage itlesi Tom Porter. Ile daijadatka ungwe sadwa nuda. Nagwida ka kwena ne toni tiga wagre. Wasta kwichi na te evla yoli hoyo. Ana kwi te gwini o tiga ku yakili hunyani aizan yakili hunyani tu kakni hat. Ona kwi jina te eno ka ingo wake loli tu daso October 12, 73. Neji igle la diksasu. Ahuadili huni. Kahiadunk. Ahadiwana nodo. Jina te yugali hoyode. Yakiogu, keadlogu. Wachinya hanwe. Ahunanu teke nate ni yugali hoda net mahunis.
Segu yaguli hunya nihe la diksa su.
As. Kae. Wis. Yaya. Jarak. Teglu. Wadru. Oye.
Wisk ni wasan yayak chiskale. Chung sana wi ungwe ne. Kolokowatne to tukung sana wi ungwe ne. Iya heji ayage yale aksot.
Wa ilukus. Kanyo nahti iole ake hialak. Wa ilukus haksota. Se hialak. Ono kuinya kahewe. Ayun kisan. Ngod la svjostun ka kwangya didan Canada nya hage. Tunat kernis ne wa ink san. Ngod la svjostun yung gelase tutanakle. Wa hagli wandusen sasona ka wa gilta. Mahan ayolhan ikuyang kusan. Wa ayolhan nangui. Wa hakloli. Nahti ayong kusan. Yakea. Ja nahti nede hunute ot niwa kolihoda aksota. Noksinekui haksan. Nagvisa kewe. Wadeli wahnilas. Canada ji negui waksoni. No waksono dak. Nsa kewe wa il. Aksot ka. Nahtiga diesa ajats. Ohniga sanoda daisa. Wa kilo. Jakea. Ena kala emas töinede. Wa ni steliste wa. Wa vini takailit jinati. Wa in that song.
Wa sakod iyatala go, faith keeper.
Ja, tegel neji. Sosiok nahti ni wakatiela ja tetkari vai. Wahana. Iaha. Taka kuioksan teissä daa joslatsi näin tika no se loli. Asli vaan niillä. Sa okkui ne vaan yung.
Segu di yago yang halau. Nati za segu na yunje.
Well, who knows? Unka nati jako nyt na se te was Warlo ni was tegli te wa goxiago. Dat na gunu konyo. Dat ni gunu kwa.
This video is more than 10 years old. My grandmother passed away in the summer of 2013. When she passed away, she had about 40 grandchildren. And but in our ways, as a grandmother, you're a grandmother to everybody. We don't just count your own grandchildren, you're everybody's grandmother. So she had she had like the whole community as her grandchildren. She was everybody's language teacher. Now that she's gone on, we would say Yagea, like, because she has retired of her responsibilities. When my grandmother passed away, it was as though a tree had fallen. The tree may have gone on, but it implanted many seedlings for generations to come. Implanted from the fallen tree of my grandmother grew a passion to learn the language as well as continue it. Yaonko jitni wa agwadahunsadat. Much thanks for how much you all have listened to me. It was an honor to stand up here and speak where my great-grandmother was honored for what she has done in 2002. I have to catch an early flight home. I have ceremonies back home, so I won't get to do too many networking, which I really wanted to. I wanted to meet all you guys. And because I will be leaving, I won't get to network too much, and I was hoping I would be able to. But I hope you guys can jot down my email so you guys can just have any comments or questions, or if you just want to get in contact with each other. And we work with the Oneida Language Revitalization Program. Yanko.